Hey everybody, welcome back to this Extreme Warfare Revenge series. My name is Andy, the Uncommentator, for episode number 19, I have checked this time, of the series where we're booking Control Your Narrative. Now I'm recording this on the 29th of July, so it's a Tuesday, and of course it is SummerSlam this weekend, and probably a few other things, the 5-star Grand Prix going on in Stardom, and lots of other things no doubt going on as well. That's not important. What is important is what's going to be taking place in this video. And it's quite a significant video because it's going to be our first episode of primetime Control Your Narrative television. So in the last video, we basically moved Liberty from the early evening slot to primetime. So we're now up against AEW. We're reliving, or rebooting I should say, the Wednesday Night War, that fabled time back in whenever it was. But instead of NXT, it's going to be Control Your Narrative that is going to be up against Dynamite. And that is going to be taking place tomorrow. So the 4th of June. 4th of July would have been a bit more appropriate, wouldn't it? But no, the 4th of June is going to be the debut of Liberty on primetime on Hulu. And instead of talking, let's get on with it. Let's move on, because there's going to be a longer video now, which is worrying really, because I'm already getting to 40 minutes when there's really no need to. But we're going to have to book 11 segments now for Liberty instead of 6. So it's, in theory, if the maths is right, it should take almost just sort of twice as long. But let's hope that doesn't happen. So here we go. We are at the 4th of June. So it's going to be our debut on primetime, as I said. So are we going to sync without a trace? I don't know. What are AEW going to counter program with? Maybe they could do something different. Like, I don't know, book a random 4-way, and then the winner gets a cash prize. You know, $100,000, $50,000. Yeah, that'd be something different. They haven't done that for a while. Anyway, yeah. So here we are, the first primetime episode of Liberty, and I'm going to kick things off by booking the 3rd segment, because I just want to check something before we start booking in the usual order. Actually, just a quick, I normally do a quick recap of where we're at with the booking, but I'll do it as I'm going along. I think that's probably going to be the easiest thing to do. So, stable, introduce new singles member, yeah, that's fine. So, Bullet Club War Dogs, and it's going to be Bad Luck Farley. Yeah, that's really irritating. Why does it do that? Okay, so we'll just do it through here. This is what I was worried about. There we go. Yeah, that's annoying. Let's just see if we can do that segment anyway. I'm going to feel it's going to say he's already in it, but if it does, we'll just yeah, they're really frustrating, these stable angles. Not a romance angle. Edit that out. We'll get there eventually, I promise. Right, singles. Introduce new singles member. Bullet Club War Dogs. Bad Luck Farley. He's already in, and this is what I'm saying. That's why it's frustrating, because you can't book the angle, but then you get that. Anyway, okay, so we'll change that segment. But we'll kick things off with a stable angle. And this one I know I can actually book. We'll have stables attack singles. Then we can do it in the ring, why not? So it's going to be the Blacklist, and they're going to attack Yuki, Kami, Fuku. So of course, Yuki, the tag team partner, friend, best friend, whatever, of Mina Shirakawa. She's trying to rescue Mina Shirakawa from the Blacklist. And the Blacklist don't like that, so she'll come out to the ring. She'll start talking, you know, start appealing to Chris Dickinson to help her save Mina Shirakawa. The lights will go out, the lights will come back on, the Blacklist will be in the ring, and then you'll see Patrick Clark in the corner, and he will be telling... him and Mandy will basically be telling Mina to attack her friend, essentially, and Mina will do it, and then maybe Mandy will get a few shots in with the stiletto. That can be her sort of gimmick. She, you know, stamps on people's head with a stiletto heel, and they leave her down, and then they again, the lights go off. The lights come back on and they're gone, and she's just Yuki's just laid out in the middle of the ring. Excuse me. Then we're going to move on to our opening match, our first ever match on primetime television. I've tried to load this show because yeah, first match on prime time, so I think we need to load it up, and we're going to have a tag team match. It's going to be Get Tree's Hands, so it's Adam Scher, and Grizzly Redwood, and they're going to take on the debuting team, although they may not be here for that one. But yeah, it's going to be Danhausen and Hook. Not Hikaru Shida, that's another spoiler. But yeah, Danhausen and Hook. So Hookhausen are going to be debuting. To be fair, a lot of these, well, obviously as well, you've just seen Hikaru Shida inadvertently. So yeah, we're reminding people of the competition here by by debuting their ex-wrestlers. So Hookhausen versus Get Tree's Hands. So this could be a fun kind of comedy match, I think. I think this could be, yeah, could be kind of fun little comedy match. Eventually the fun stops and Adam Scher will pin Danhausen. And he can do it cleanly, why not? I was going to make, Babyface versus Babyface, but no, I've made Hookhausen heels, which doesn't really work, but doesn't matter. They can make a sort of like comedy heels that people are just kind of booing. It's a bit like when people boo Dominic Mysterio. It's like, it's almost turned into parody booing, hasn't it, that now? So, that sort of thing, maybe. We'll try and get that sort of reaction. No aftermath, but you know what? Put on a good match. Put on a good, fun comedy opening match. Then we'll do an interview with not a tag team with manager, with a stable, cute. And it can be Bullet Club War Dogs. Why not Joe Hendry? So this will basically sort of validate, is that the word? Probably not. This will confirm the fact that Bad Luck Fale is in the stables. That's essentially what this interview would do. And of course say, well, you know, Joe, it's us three now, you know, who's going to help you, sort of thing. You get the idea. Next up, we're going to have another angle, because why not? It's going to be a challenge. So challenge for next big event. So let's start putting the card together for Ascendance. So it's going to be Sonny Case challenging Jake Atlas. So the rematch is set. And then we've got another debut, but it's not an ex-AEW person. Although, well, he may have made one appearance earlier. I don't think he did, actually. But anyway, it's going to be a debut angle. And it's going to be singles debut dueling microphones. So he's going to be interrupting. And it's not Atomic Super Thunderfrog, which is another spoiler. It's going to be a guy that you may have heard of called Richard Holiday. So Richard Holiday, if you don't know who that is, he's been on the indie scene for a little bit now, but he was in, he may still be in MLW, but in MLW there was a stable called the Dynasty, or the Dynasty if you're American, and it was Alexander Hammerstone, Richard Holiday, and MJF who were in that stable, and I thought they were great. I thought they were really good. So I just like Richard Holiday. Does a great, I like his catchphrase where he says, you're all breathing rarefied air. I think that's a quite good catchphrase. So, yeah, so we're going to hire him, and he's going to interrupt the Whisper. So, essentially, what would happen in this segment, the Whisper would be in the ring, the interviewer, Lexi Nair, or whoever it's going to be, would be saying to him, you've been here a couple of months now, the crowd seem to be really taken to you. But what are your plans? What do you want to achieve? We don't know a lot about you. And he's about to start interviewing, and then he's about to start the interview, I should say, and then Richard Holiday comes out and says, well, I'll tell you something about him. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Richard Holiday. He can do his rarefied airline, why not? Because it's great. And and I've known this guy since we were kids. That's right, we grew up on the same neighbourhood. He's, you may look at me, he could be gone about being rich and privileged and whatever. A bit like, sort of like a Timo MJF, if you like. So he'll come out and say about how you've been rich and privileged, but don't let this guy fool you. Don't let this guy fool you. He's exactly the same as me. He tries to come across as like this cool, mysterious guy who you don't know where he's come from. Well, I'll tell you where he's come from. He's come from the same Beverly Hills neighbourhood that I came from, and he starts basically banging on about that he's a rich kid pretending he's a rich privileged kid pretending that he's not, basically, and then he'll say something like, you want to know why they call him the Whisper? Well, and then as soon as he says that, the Whisperer then attacks him. So that's going to set up that little rivalry going forward. So essentially Holidays wants to expose him for he's pretending to be something he's not, and then Holidays kind of trying to be holier than thou by saying, well, yeah, I'm rich and I've had a privileged upbringing, but at least I don't pretend I'm something I'm not. I'm honest about it. So again, kind of being a heel, but telling the truth, sort of thing. The next up, we've got a match which could have been mentioned in the interview that the Bullet Club War Dogs did. So it's going to be Joe Hendry taking on Gable Steveson. Bit of a random one. I need to give Gable something to do after his Chuck O'Neill feud. I haven't really done anything with him since. Anyway, he's going to win this match, and again, just to double down, Bad Luck Fale will interfere. Obviously, Gable Steveson won't be joined. Well, I'll say he won't be joining. Give myself an idea there. Yeah. Anyway, not at the minute. So no aftermath, and that's to build up to a future match. So again, reinforcing that Fale is now in the company. Next up, we're going to have another match, and a match that would have been set up at the start of the show, and then did a sort of a rundown of what you're going to see tonight. It would have been a graphic for this match, and it's going to be a handicap match. Not a special match. I thought it was something special. It's in a handicap, isn't it? So a handicap match, and it's going to be Shark Boy. And he's going to be taking on the Hatchet Boys. So again, EC3's vendetta continues. He's putting up against the Hatchet Boys. So it's 2 to Tony and Corporal Robinson. And of course, the Hatchet Boys win because it's 2 against 1. Oh, you're getting too big for your fins, are you? Okay, we're going to say. Ooh, he doesn't like that, does he? Well, I'm sorry, Shark Boy, but you're going to have to lose, I'm afraid, because it's a handicap match. You are. No, they can just win clearly. Or should we have them cheat? Yeah, let's have them cheat, why not? I think we could do actually with this one. We'll have, which I thought this sooner now, we'll have, they'll use a weapon, and then the ref will go to disqualify them, and then EC3 will get it from the commentary and say, no, don't disqualify them. If you disqualify them, you're fired, or something like that. And then the referee then has to say, well, I can't. Has to then just let it go, basically. So we'll say that's how they win. Why not? Obviously, I can't book that, but that's what would happen. I've now decided that's what would happen. Yes, you are. So we'll say interference then. Interference from EC3. We'll say interference from EC3. That's his interference essentially, though. He doesn't run in. He just stops the referee from doing a DQ, and then they end up pinning him. As a result. And then next up, we're going to do the angle that I sort of thought about doing in the last video, but not fully. Yeah, there we go. Working on assignment and gets challenged. So it's going to be Chuck O'Neill who's going to return to television. So Chuck O'Neill, and of course it's Bateman who's retiring. So he'll do what I said in the last video. He'll say, well, I've been here 6 months now. I keep losing. If I don't win my next match, I'm going to retire. So, who's it going to be? Who's going to be my retirement? I'm sick of losing. So if I can't do this anymore, I'm going to quit. I'm going to retire. And then Chuck O'Neill will come out and say, well, I'll retire. Basically, I need to get my mojo back after losing to Gable Steveson. So that's that's how that gets set up. And then I've got how long it takes to book 11 segments. Take an age of this. Then yet another angle, because we don't do matches on this show, we just do angles and videos. It's going to be the host angle. So because it's the debut on primetime on Hulu, Maki Ito is going to do a concert, but it's going to be one with a difference this time. I don't want to book that one. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Okay, so it's Maki Ito. So again, Maki Ito, she'll do a concert. Well, I have no prize for this, I knew it was going to be. So we might as well spoil that one we did earlier. So Maki Ito, she'll be doing the usual thing. She'll be doing a concert. Call someone out she'll call someone out to listen to it, and it'll be Hikaru Shida. So Hikaru Shida will listen to her singing. She'll tell her she sucks like all the other guests do. However, this time it's slightly different because it's because we're on prime time and we're trying to do something different. Rather than Ito attacking the guest and sort of getting away with it, this time it's Shida. Well, Shida will come prepared. So she'll say something like, "Hey, I've got, I could, your singing sucks, but I can help you. Why don't we do a duet? I've brought my own microphone." And then she'll pull out a kendo stick she'll pull out a kendo stick with a microphone stuck on the top of it. So it looks like a mic stand, but it's actually a kendo stick. And then she goes to start singing. She stands behind. She stands behind Ito and says, "Oh, but you're still the star. I'll just be the backing singer." And Ito's like, "Oh yeah, cool, fair enough. Then let's sing together." Then Ito starts singing, and then you can see Shida in the background. She takes the microphone off the kendo stick and unwraps the the thing that's making it look like a mic stand to reveal the kendo stick, and then she whacks Maki Ito in the back with it. So she outsmarts her basically. So that's that segment. And then the main event match is going to be another obviously angle after this. And again, a match that would have been set up on the graphic. So it's going to be Jonah, Bronson Reed, or whatever to call him, taking on the debuting Atomic Super Thunder Frog I've signed. Now, my idea for this one is, so EC3 will say, well, I want Jonah to get used to beating up animals, because he's obviously we're building up to Jonah versus Sharkboy. I think we can all see where that's. If you've been following the series, you'll see where that's going. So EC3 says, I want him to get used to beating up animals, so I've signed this guy who calls himself Atomic Super Thunder Frog. Now, what I want to happen here is a little bit like sort of Mr. Iguana, if you like. So, I mean, I think people have stopped caring about him already, but like he got over quite big at that Worlds Collide because he was pretending to be an iguana, essentially. And also, I want it to be a bit like... Anyone remember Orange Cassidy's debut? His debut match against, I think it was Pac. I think it was at Revolution, if I remember correctly. And most people hadn't seen... Obviously, it was his debut for his in-ring AEW debut. And he was like... What he did was, like, he lost, but it was, like, amazing. Like, people weren't expecting him to do what he did. So, that's what I want this match to happen here. Look, people are just going to think, oh, Jonah's just going to squash him. And then actually they have a really competitive match that gets Thunder Frog over and gets kind of like... sort of a cross between, like I said, Mr. Iguana and Orange Cassidy's debut, if you like. You get the idea. So you think he's just going to squash him and he can't wrestle, and actually he can wrestle, and he puts up a good fight, but eventually Jonah does win. But that's what I want to happen here. So again, we're establishing two things. Obviously, Jonah being quite dominant, but then also Atomic Thunder Frog can actually wrestle. So that's what would happen there. And then finally, the main event segment. And it's going to be yet another stable angle. Why not? We seem to have had quite a few. And it's going to be stable kidnap male. So the Blacklist are going to kidnap Chris Dickinson. So of course, they've offered Chris Dickinson a place in the Blacklist, and this time they're going to end the show. So they start the show by assaulting Yuki Kamifuku, and then they end the show by kidnapping Chris Dickinson. So now the story takes another twist, and that is our debut Primetime Liberty. I think this is going to be quite a good show. I'm hoping it is anyway. I think quite a lot going on, maybe a bit too much, maybe a bit Russo-rific or whatever we call it. But we'll never be boring. Let's see what happens. Good. That's what we need to happen. That's what we need to keep happening. Keep getting these people over. good segment. Yeah, that's a shame because that could have been a good match, but fun little match. Yeah, that's fine. Never going to be good. That's fine. There we go. Yeah, I changed Richard Holiday's gimmick. It was arrogant. I changed it to Rich Snob, so that kind of made sense. So that's a good start. Yeah, that could have been better, but we'll take it, I suppose. Oh, that was a good match. That was better than I was expecting. Thought she had to annoy Shark Boy. Oh, that was a good match. Segment even. Excellent stuff. Yeah, that's good. That's really good, actually. I'll take that. Okay, maybe Super Atomic Thunderfrog can't wrestle, but in my mind he can. I'm a bit disappointed actually because his stats are not that bad. Like genuinely, his stats are pretty good. So a bit disappointed there actually. Yep, and that's fine. Okay, we got the 60%. Slightly disappointing matches, I have to say, particularly that one. I'm really annoyed about that one. I was hoping for something pretty good. His stats are not that bad, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Shark Boy. Oh, he's still injured at morale, despite the fact he didn't want to lose. So normally when people complain they don't want to lose and you ask them to lose, their morale drops. But, well, not in this case, so that's pretty good. Yeah, see, I mean, look, his stats aren't that bad. Brawl 65, speed 57, technical. Okay, he's not Kurt Angle, but he's not that bad. So I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. Slightly annoying. Okay, we've got 0.97, so that could have been worse. And 196 people turned up to watch that. So let's see what the... So we only just got a slightly lower rating than the last one, and we were up against AEW. I might change Thunderfrog's gimmick, actually. I don't know what to. But, yeah. Oh, there we go. So they're happy. That's good. So they're happy, even though we're up against AEW. So that's pretty good. They don't want to move the time slot, so they don't want to demote us. So, yeah. I'd say that was a successful debut. Right, so we'll skip on to... Are we bigger than OVW yet? No, not quite. 70%, what are they? 99%, so we're nowhere near. Okay, right, so we've got the next episode of Disruption to do. So we need to skip on to Monday. And as well, now we're on prime time, we should be making more money. We spent a lot on worker costs there because Sheeda's on an open contract and Patrick Clark is, and Mandy Rose, so it's going to be a bit pricey. Please don't be an injury. Let's see. Is it going to be a job offer? No, it's going to be somebody looks like the company off on a radio interview or something like that. Okay, no, Gable Stevenson's got a drug problem. Another one. Okay, well, I've actually got him booked on the next show, but we'll do a rewrite. We'll send him to rehab, and we'll do a rewrite. I don't know who's going to fill in the gap, though. That's the problem. We'll think of something. Yeah, he was supposed to be wrestling in the main event in the next show, but we'll have to do it. We'll have to have a rethink. We'll have to have a rethink. So Triple A's been renewed, or Triple R. Triple R owned by Triple H now, or whatever it is. Not quite, we get the idea. Right, so Disruption. Let's go. And we'll kick things off with a video, which kind of rhymes. Remember on my other series, my PWG series, yeah, I used to book 2 primetime shows a video. And, yeah. Forgot how difficult it was. Anyway, so kicking things off with a video package. Hype video for a stable. And it's going to be the Blacklist. Featuring Patrick Clark, why not? So essentially that'd just be a recap of the main event of the last show. So they'd just be replaying the kidnapping of Chris Dickinson. Then we'll kick things off with a match. And this time it's going to be a singles match play. It's going to be Joe Hendry taking on Bad Luck Farley. And Bad Luck Farley is going to win because David Finlay, not Danhausen, David Finlay interferes. And again, we're just kind of doubling down on the fact that Joe Hendry's got no friends in this battle, especially now Chris Dickinson's been kidnapped. But maybe he can get some compadres from somewhere. I need to rewrite this main event, but we'll think of something. Next up, we're going to have an interview, and it's going to be with Chuck O'Neill. So the interviewer would ask him, "Oh, you know, obviously we're not seeing you since you lost to Gable Steveson. Where have you been? What have you been doing?" And then he just said, "You know, I've done a lot of reflecting. You know, obviously I'm a bit embarrassed about losing to Gable Steveson, but you know, I need to dust myself off. I need to find a new cause, and you know, I'm seeing things in this company that, you know, are giving me a cause again, giving me a purpose." And he kind of he doesn't say it, but he teases a little bit that what's happening to Joe Hendry's a cause, if you like, you know, because he's saying like he's seeing things he doesn't like, so it's giving him a purpose, and you know, the opportunity to retire the asshole, if you like Bateman's, you know, giving him renewed vigor. So once he's done that, he's then going to go and, you know, fight for these causes that he thinks he's seen. So we'll target Bateman in this interview. We'll say it's had to come in match, why not? It's not to hype this upcoming match though. The match is going to be between Sonny Kiss and Brian Johnson, everyone's favourite jobber. And of course, Sonny Kiss wins. We'll have no interference, nothing from Jake Atlas. It's just going to be a standard jobber match, just to give Sonny Kiss a victory, building up to the match with Jake Atlas. And then we're going to have a funny segment between Get Tree's Hands they'll have a celebration ceremony, why not? We'll just pretend they're happy that they beat Hookhausen. So maybe they can mock, I don't know, they can mock Hookhausen or something, like maybe Adam Scher could come out with Danhausen face paint on, and then Grizzly Member could come up with his hair like Hook, something like that, I don't know, something kind of funny. Something that the writing team that paid to think of things like that can come up with something funny. And they just kind of goof about that, you know, we beat these now, and what's next sort of thing. Again, keeping that kind of comedy team going. Then we're going to have another interview. I feel like I'm having quite a few interviews tonight, and it's going to be this time with Maki Ito, and she's going to target Hikaru Shida, and she'll just, you know, do like scream like, "Oh, she can't. The reason why she didn't want to sing with me is because she knows she can't, and you know, cheap shot me from behind, that was low, but you know, I'll get her back." And yeah, you get the idea. Just basically, criticise her. And then another video package, which again I feel like we've have quite a lot of. Hype video for upcoming match. So it's going to be Richard Holiday and The Whisper. So that would just be a recap of the Brawl in debut from last week, or the last show I should say. And then finally the main event, which I'm going to have to retcon, if that's the right word, which it probably isn't. We'll have to change. So it's going to be the Animal, I don't know, I don't know, think of something. The two animals, Shark Boy and Atomic Super Thunder Frog, and they're going to be taking on Jonah, and it would have been Gable Steveson, but now he's in rehab. So who have we got? We must have somebody. Somebody's got to fill in. I'm tempted to say David Finlay, or Chase Owens, or Hook, or EC3 is the obvious one. I don't want him to wrestle yet. Cotton Belly. He's a babyface, I think, actually. Yeah, so we've got nobody. We've got nobody. Jonah. I mean, I could go with the Hatchet, but I could turn it into a 6-man and go with the Hatchet Boys. Hey, you know what? We'll do it. Screw it. We'll do it. That's a good idea. We'll do it that way. They just need to find another partner, but we can find one. So it's going to be. So it's Shark Boy, Super Atomic Thunder Frog, who's not as over as I wanted him to be after Atomic Super Thunder Frog, I should say, and a partner versus. It's going to be the Hatchet Boys, everyone's favourite, and I don't know, we'll have Mac Tanks, he also wears a mask. So Shark Boy, Atomic Super Thunder Frog, and Mac 10 versus Toot of Tony. Yeah, we'll go with that, why not? Probably gonna suck, but hey ho. And Jonah is going to pin Mac 10. And we'll say it's a clean one, not with any interference. Right, let's get on with it. Can we get 60% again? I think we should be able to this time. Well, that sucked. And we've not got the average, so we're going to struggle a bit here. Okay, that could have been better. Yeah, that's okay. Good. Ooh, that was good. That was really good. Good. 68%, we'll take that. That was better than I was expecting. 60% only just, despite bad luck Farley and Joe Hendry. So the matches, this is why I don't book a lot of matches, because they're the worst thing about it. And also, because I've only got a small roster, I don't like to book a lot of matches, because otherwise you kind of burn through your matches pretty quickly. Which is obviously not what I want to do. We've got 0.75, which is 2 less people came to watch that. We got a 0.75, which is not quite the highest rating we've ever had, but 2 more shows successfully in the can. And we're now on to the 10th of June, and we can now end this video. So looks like we can compete. We can still get a decent audience despite being up against AEW. So that was good. Now, obviously, I normally do 1 video a week. Sometimes I don't do any videos a week. But with this series, I've tried to do 1 video a week. I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the video. I don't think I did. I'm currently off work at the minute, so I'm thinking potentially this may be. I may do 2 videos this week just to try and catch up a little bit, because I have fallen a little bit behind where I wanted to go. So this may be. I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but like I said, I may be doing 2 videos this week. So much like SummerSlam's 2 nights, maybe we'll do 2 videos this weekend. I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. But for now, this is the end of this video for whenever it gets uploaded. So if you enjoyed this video, then please like and share the video. You can also leave a comment on the video should you choose to do that. We're here on YouTube. If you head on over to the channel, do commentate, you will find the rest of the videos in this playlist. You'll also find a positive plethora of other videos and other content that I've created for your viewing pleasure. If you like wrestling, then please go and check out my WWE Crush Hour playthrough. I've also played through this game with an older database and a different promotion, which I've already talked about. And I've made a couple of WrestleMania related videos, so please go and check those out. If you don't like wrestling, I'm not quite sure how you're hearing this, but if that is the case, there is lots and lots of other content for you to enjoy, including Pokemon, Stadium, and Snap, and Puzzle League Challenge, whatever it's called, as well as lots of other stuff, including train racing, including rock and roll racing, including Lego Island, and everything else in between. But join me next time. We're going to be moving on to further into June, if that's the right grammar, which it isn't. We're going to book the next 2 shows and continuing our build to Ascendance. But until we get to that point, for now, from me, it is sayonara.